Okay, right. Let's do this. Let's get the ball rolling, or the skull rolling, for this case. So Computer Guy asks if there's any questions on the Treehouse of Horror comics, and nope, I've not read the Simpsons comics since I was a kid. I used to collect them obsessively. I used to like even put them in order. I used to get them every time they came out. They were one of the rare things I collected as a kid. But now I can barely remember any of the stories from the Simpsons comics, let alone the Treehouse of Horror comics. Okay, so if you're new to my quiz streams, you need to click the QuizKit logo on the side of chat to join. You can usually find this logo by hovering your mouse over the stream player, and then you click allow access and grant permission. All the questions range from classic Treehouse of Horror to like modern Treehouse of Horror, so it goes pretty far. I think it goes into maybe like the 20s, maybe more. I can't remember. Why can't I remember? I wrote this damn quiz. Gimme Guy says they own all the comics that were released in France. Wow, that is pretty impressive. I think I just stopped. I got to a point where I just stopped collecting the comics. So one more time, to join this quiz, you need to click the QuizKit logo on the side of chat, and then click allow access and grant permission. Okay, let's start the quiz. You should be getting like an information, like an instruction image. That's it. You should be getting an instruction image now. One more time for anyone that's just joined. To join this quiz, you need to click the QuizKit logo on the side of chat, which can usually be found by hovering your mouse over the stream player, then click allow access and grant permission. Let's get the ball. Let's go. Where's my English gone? Question 1. Which planet are Gudos and Kang from? Neptune 2, Rigel 4, Alpha GX, or Omicron Persei 8. So question 1, which planet are Kudos and Kang from? Neptune 2, Rigel 4, Alpha GX, or Omicron Persei 8? Well, this internet trouble's made me all jittery now, so apologies. The answer is Rigel 4. Most of you got that one right. Did I put Kudos? Yeah, you're right, computer. I put Kudos. What about Kudos? I'm probably so used to writing the word kudos more than Kodos. Question 2. The first Treehouse of Horror featured an adaptation of The Raven, but who wrote the original poem? H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker, or Clive Barker? So question 2. The first Treehouse of Horror featured an adaptation of The Raven, but who wrote the original poem? H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker, or Clive Barker? So who was the penman behind The Raven? And the answer is Edgar Allan Poe, and you all got that correct. Well done. Oh, I am proud. As a Poe fan, I am very proud of you. Okay, on to the next question. Question 3. What is the name of the Treehouse of Horror story that's about Krusty's doll trying to kill Homer? Here's Krusty, Laugh Until You Die, Circus of Death, or Clown Without Pity? So question 3. What is the name of the Treehouse of Horror story that's about a Krusty doll trying to kill Homer? Here's Krusty, Laugh Until You Die, Circus of Death, or Clown Without Pity? So the answer is Clown Without Pity. Most of you went for Clown Without Pity. That's good. Someone went for Circus of Death. These all sound like the name of a Krusty horror story. So to be fair, I wouldn't blame anyone for picking the others. Okay, question 4. The Treehouse of Horror story Bart Simpson's Dracula is a parody of which Dracula movie? Nosferatu from 1922, Dracula from 1931, Dracula Prince of Darkness from 1966, or Bram Stoker's Dracula? So question 4, the Treehouse of Horror story Bart Simpson's Dracula is a parody of which Dracula movie? Nosferatu, Dracula, Dracula Prince of Darkness, or Bram Stoker's Dracula? This one is very obvious if you've seen the film. The answer is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Most of you went for that. Someone went for the original Lugosi Dracula. But yes, the big dead giveaway is the way that Mr. Burns is dressed. Okay, question 5. In Nightmare Cafeteria, which student is killed for cafeteria food first? Janie, Milhouse, Jimbo, or Uta? So, question 5. In Nightmare Cafeteria, which student is killed for cafeteria food first? Janie, Milhouse, Jimbo, or Uta? I love Nightmare Cafeteria, by the way. It's possibly my favourite Treehouse of Horror story. It's so dark and twisted, yet still pretty funny at the same time. I really like it. It's a high contender for my number 1 favourite. So the answer was Jimbo. Yes, a lot of you got that right. That's good. That's really good. It means you've paid attention to one of my favourite Treehouse of Horror stories. Excellent. On to question 6. When it loads. Question 6. In Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, which Springfield character plays the role of Freddy Krueger? Mo Sislike, Comic Book Guy, Groundskeeper Willie, or Sideshow Bob? So question 6. In Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, which Springfield character plays the role of Freddy Krueger? Mo Sislike, Comic Book Guy, Groundskeeper Willie, or Sideshow Bob? It's an iconic performance by said character. The answer is Groundskeeper Willie. All got it right. Well done. Fantastic. Yeah. It's such perfect casting. It really is. I don't think you could have given anyone else the part. You really couldn't have. Lousy smart weather. Question 7. In The Thing and I, what is the name of Bart's secret evil twin? Henry, Harry, Hugo, or Harold? So question 7. In The Thing and I, what is the name of Bart's secret evil twin? Henry, Harry, Hugo, or Harold? Can you remember? The weird thing about the Thing and I episode is that when I was a kid, I didn't really tell the difference between Treehouse of Horror episodes and regular episodes of The Simpsons. So for a while, I actually thought, oh, Bart really does have like a secret evil twin living in the attic. The answer is Hugo. You got it correct. Well done. You really know your classic Treehouse of Horror. Really good quote there as well, Dominic Boo. Don't touch Willie. Good advice. The Nightmare Evergreen Terrace is like one of the most quotable Treehouse of Horror stories, I think. So many good lines in that one. Question 8. Which year is the Treehouse of Horror story Easy Bake Coven set during? 1602, 1733, 1649, or 1590? So question 8. Which year is the Treehouse of Horror story Easy Bake Coven set during? 1602, 1733, 1649, or 1590? So which year was the classic witch story of The Simpsons Easy Bake Coven set during? The answer is 1649. Oh, very mixed response, but that always happens with my question episodes. See what I mean as well? All of these are medium questions. I usually reserve like the first 10 questions for easy, but yep, these are all very medium level difficulty. Question 9. In Starship Poopers, who turns out to be Maggie's real father? I put Kudos again. Kodos, Cecil Terwilliger, or Hank Scorpio. What is wrong with me? Question 9. In Starship Poopers, who turns out to be Maggie's real father? Kang, Kodos, Cecil Terwilliger, or Hank Scorpio? I don't know why I put Kudos. I really don't. Very polite misspelling, I'll say at least. So yeah, the answer was Kang, and well done. Everyone got that right. Well done. Okay, question 10 coming up. When it loads. Question 10. The story The Genesis Tub is based on which Twilight Zone episode? The Little People, The Man in the Bottle, Miniature, or The Purple Testament? So question 10. The story The Genesis Tub is based on which Twilight Zone episode? The Little People, The Man in the Bottle, Miniature, or The Purple Testament? These are all Twilight Zone episode titles, by the way. These are all real names for Twilight Zone episodes. So I'm not being too misleading. Well, kind of. So the answer was The Little People. Oh, bit of a mixed response. Most went for Little People, though. Most went for that one. Dominic, been watching some of these Twilight Zone episodes with the segments that parody them. Ooh. Okay, so question 11. Technically, we're still in the medium round. In Frankenstein, which association offers a Nobel Prize to Professor Frink? the elite French community of gadgets, the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, the Victorian British Club of Steampunk, the Deluxe Swiss Society of Invention. So question 11, in Frankenstein, which association offers a Nobel Prize to Professor Frink? Elite French community of gadgets, Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, Victorian British Club of Steampunk, or Deluxe Swiss Society of Invention? The answer was the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. Most of you got it correct, and hello, Don Bloof. Question 12. I can't even count. Question 12 coming up. Question 12. Which Treehouse of Horror story is a parody of Fantastic Voyage? I've grown a costume on your face, the fright to creep and scare harms, how to get ahead in advertising, in the belly of the boss. So question 12, which Treehouse of Horror story is a parody of Fantastic Voyage? I've grown a costume on your face, the fright to creep and scare harms, how to get ahead in advertising, or in the belly of the boss. So these are all real names for Treehouse of Horror episodes, by the way. And the answer was in the belly of the boss. You all got it correct. Well done. I'll admit, a lot of these next questions are mainly about like the newer episodes, like past the classic era. So these are gonna they do at least get a little tricky because of that. Question 13. What is Bart dressed up as in the story Heck House? Frankenstein's monster, mummy, werewolf, or Dracula? So question 13, what is Bart dressed up as in the story Heck House? Frankenstein's monster, the mummy, werewolf, or Dracula? What is Bart dressed up as in the little Treehouse of Horror story Heck House? And the answer is Frankenstein's monster. Ooh, a bit of a divide. We've got some people going for Frankenstein's monster, some going for a werewolf, and someone going for Dracula. Nobody went for the mummy. Poor mummy. Question 14. What is the name of the evil board game in the Treehouse of Horror story War and Pieces? Goblet of Blood, Devil's Journey, Quest for Hell, or Satan's Path? So question 14. What is the name of the evil board game? Evil board in game? What does that even mean? What is the name of the evil board game in War and Pieces? Goblet of Blood, Devil's Journey, Quest for Hell, or Satan's Path? So the answer was Satan's Path. Bit of a divide. We've got some going for Goblet of Blood and Devil's Journey, and another half going for Satan's Path. But yes, the correct answer is Satan's Path. I'll be honest, I don't even remember half of these stories, and I've seen most of the Simpsons episodes. Question 15. What is the name of the Treehouse of Horror story that parodies Transformers? Age of Extincton, Trans-Simpsons, Untitled Robot Parody, or Dark of the Cartoon? So, question 15. What is the name of the Treehouse of Horror story that parodies Transformers, Age of Friction, Trans-Simpsons, or Untitled Robot Parody, or Dark of the Cartoon? The answer is Untitled Robot Parody, and most of you got that correct. Well done, indeed. A couple were guessing Age of Friction or Trans-Simpsons. Those are my made-up titles. Okay, so we're halfway through the quiz now. Question 16. Which Treehouse of Horror story is about Homer becoming a paralyzed Spider-Man who communicates by farting? I'm not kidding. Danger Things, Oh, the Places You'll Go, The Diving Bell and the Butterball, or Master and Cadaver? So question 16. Which Treehouse of Horror story is about Homer becoming a paralyzed Spider-Man who communicates through farting? Danger Things, Oh, the Places You'll Go, The Diving Bell and the Butterball, or Master and Cadaver? Yeah, this is the worst ever Treehouse of Horror segment. Well done for getting it right, everyone. It was The Diving Bell and the Butterball. Well done. Quite a majority of you knew that one. I'm sorry that you know that exists. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it is bad. I've seen most of the Treehouse of Horrors, and I remember that bit standing out as the worst. Question 17. In Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure, which year does Bart time travel to? 1955, 1966, 1745, or 1974? So question 17. In Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure, which year does Bart time travel to? 1955, 1966, 1745, or 1974? Which year did Bart time travel to? And the answer is 1974. Ooh, most of you went for that one, which is pretty impressive because I know the number questions are probably the hardest when it comes to these quizzes. Okay, on to question 18. Question 18. The Treehouse of Horror story There's No Business Like Mo Business is a parody of which musical? Sweeney Todd, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Phantom of the Opera, or Little Shop of Horrors? So question 18. The Treehouse of Horror story There's No Business Like Mo Business is a parody of which musical? Sweeney Todd, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Phantom of the Opera, or Little Shop of Horrors? So, do you know which horror musical? Which one was it? It was a parody of... Let me click. It was a parody of Sweeney Todd, and you all got it right. Well, except for one person who went for Phantom of the Opera, but still, majority of you got it correct, so well done. So, question 19. So, question 19. Which Treehouse of Horror story is about the Simpsons meeting their former selves from the Tracy Ullman Show? The Others, The Exorcist, Intrusion of the Pod-E Switchers, or Into the Homerverse? So question 19, which Treehouse of Horror story is about the Simpsons meeting their former selves from the Tracy Ullman Show? The Others, The Exorcist, Intrusion of the Pod-E Switchers, or Into the Homerverse? The answer was The Others. Ooh, very mixed response. Most went for The Others, but in general, people were going all over the place for that one. All over the place. Okay, so question 21, the last question of the medium round. Yes, the medium round. Question 20. What is the name of Lisa's murderous imaginary friend in BFF RIP? Sarah, Daria, Michelle, or Rachel? Rachel? Is it Rachel or Rachel? I can't tell. Question 20. What is the name of Lisa's murderous imaginary friend in BFF RIP? Sarah, Daria, or Darla. It's Darla, Michelle, or Rachel? The answer was Rachel. Most of you got that right. I'm getting the feeling that a lot of you have actually watched a lot of the newer Treehouse of Horror episodes. Okay, so we're on to the hard round now. The hard round. Question 21. What spooky name was Nancy Cartwright credited as in the Treehouse of Horror 3 episode? Scary Night Cartwright, Necro Nance, Noxious Nancy, or Nocturnal Nancy Cartwright? These are all names that she's been credited as in Treehouse of Horror episodes, but which one was she given in Treehouse of Horror 3? Scary Night Cartwright, Necro Nance, Noxious Nancy, or Nocturnal Nancy Cartwright? And the answer is Nocturnal Nancy Cartwright, and nobody went for our one. Yeah, these are good. These are going to be really tricky. This is where things are the difficulty meter is very high for the next 10 questions. Question 22. Who directed Treehouse of Horror 7? David Silverman, Wes Archer, Rich Moore, and Mike B. Anderson. Yeah, that's the thing. I like to make my last round more behind the scenes focused. It helps to give credit to the people that worked on these projects that I do quizzes on. So question 22, who directed Treehouse of Horror 7? Was it David Silverman, Wes Archer, Rich Moore, or Mike B. Anderson? And the answer is Mike B. Anderson. Everyone went for David Silverman. Everyone's just going to go for the ones that they know, the directors they know. But Mike B. Anderson is... yeah, he's one of the Simpsons directors, deserves way more attention and credit. Okay, so question 23. Who voiced Edmund the Vampire in the Twilight parody story Tweenlight? Will Poulter, Daniel Radcliffe, Jamie Bell, or Tom Holland? So question 23. Who voiced Edmund the Vampire in the Twilight parody story Tweenlight? Will Poulter, Daniel Radcliffe, Jamie Bell, or Tom Holland? Which of those young British male actors provided the voice of Edmund in the Twilight parody story Tweenlight? And the answer is Daniel Radcliffe. Oh, you all got it right. Oh, one person went for Tom Holland, but most went for Daniel Radcliffe. Yes, Daniel did a little parody character of his friend Robert Pattinson's character, Edward. Question 24. Which Treehouse of Horror episode opens up with a Fox censor being killed by the show's TV rating? Treehouse of Horror 6, Treehouse of Horror 4, Treehouse of Horror 8, or Treehouse of Horror 2? So question 24, which Treehouse of Horror opens with a Fox censor being killed by the show's TV rating logo in the corner? Was it Treehouse of Horror 6, 4, 8, or 2? Yes, very, very specific. If you were worried about these kind of questions, they are popping up a lot in the last round, but the answer was Treehouse of Horror 8. Most of you went for 8. but kind of like all over the kind of place in terms of like answering. Oh dear. It is the hard round. It is the hard round. Question 25. Who directed Treehouse of Horror 10? Yes, another director question. Was it Lauren McMullen, Mark Kirkland, Pete Michaels, or Jim Reardon? So question 25. Who directed Treehouse of Horror 10? Was it Lauren McMullen, Mark Kirkland, Pete Michaels, or Jim Reardon? I have a strong feeling which one people are gonna guess. Oh, bit of a. I thought everyone was going for Jim Reardon because he's the most famous one out of all those. But no, the answer was Pete Michaels. Pete Michaels. So, on to question 26. In House of Wax, who voices the futuristic house itself? Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig, Liam Neeson, or George Clooney? Marge does kind of play around with which voices it could be, but I'm asking, who does she end up choosing and becomes the main voice of the house for the rest of the story? So, was it Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig, Liam Neeson, or George Clooney? And the answer is Pierce Brosnan. Most of you got that correct. Well done. Someone guessed Liam Neeson, which I was expecting that. Because like the house does sound very Irish, so. Question 27. What creepy name is Yardley Smith credited as in Treehouse of Horror 4? Your name here: Yowling Yardley Smith, Scabby Yardley Smith, or Grave Yardley Smith? That last one is probably my favourite of the bunch. That's a clever one. Question 27. Which creepy name is Yardley Smith credited as in Treehouse of Horror? I put Smuff. Did I misspell the Yardley Smith as Smuff? What is wrong with me? This was just this morning. So the answer was Scabby Yardley Smith. Everyone voted for Yowling. Yowling, that's a different episode. Again, these are all names that Yardley has been credited as in episodes of Treehouse of Horror. So question 28. Which basketball star voices himself in Treehouse of Horror 16? Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Rodman, or LeBron James? So question 28. Which basketball star voices himself in Treehouse of Horror 16? Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Rodman, or LeBron James? They all sound like they would be up for doing a Treehouse of Horror episode, to be fair. Considering the projects that they've already attached themselves to. So the answer was Dennis Rodman. Most of you went for Dennis. Someone went for Shaq and someone went for LeBron, but nobody went for Michael. Okay, question 29. Almost at the end of the quiz now. Question 29. Which Treehouse of Horror episode opens with a seance that summons the ghost of Maud Flanders? Is it Treehouse of Horror 13, 19, 10, or 25? So question 29. Which Treehouse of Horror episode opens with a seance that summons the ghost of Maud Flanders? Is it Treehouse of Horror 13, 19, 10, or 25? Which one was it? It's a very memorable opening for a Treehouse of Horror episode, to be fair. Oh, you all got it right. You all went for Treehouse of Horror 13. Wow, I'm impressed. Very impressed. Okay, on to question 30. The last question of the entire quiz. What is it? Oh, I remember what it is now, and you're all gonna hate me. You thought the previous questions were hard? Last question, the big final boss is... Question 30. How many Treehouse of Horror stories have aired to date? Is it 98, 103, 72, or 89? So question 30. The last question of the quiz. Good luck. How many Treehouse of Horror stories have aired to date? 98, 103, 72, or 89? As soon as I started this quiz, I was like, I'm saving this one for last. The answer is 98. A lot of you got it right. Ooh, you showed me. Well, the thing is that I know what you were trying to do, computer guy. I know what everyone was trying to do was 32 times 3, give or take 1. But I will correct you there. Well, yeah. So you are technically, you're on the right path, but here's the difference. The newest Treehouse of Horror that aired this month, this year, had 5 segments. So, the winner of the quiz is Dominic Boo. In second place is Listy Rimsey. In third place is Computer Guy. In fourth place is Contestant 6. In fifth place is Callie Booth. In sixth place is Contestant 9. Awesome to see you, Callie, by the way. Oh, wow. Well done to Dominic Boo. Well done indeed. The Treehouse of Horror champion. Okay, so yeah, well done, Dominic. And before I leave, let me know any suggestions you have for next week's quiz. I'm trying to focus on topics related to October, so like Halloween, autumn, horror, that kind of jazz. So let me know if you have any suggestions at all before I head off. I really do have to head off soon. Got to do something very important. I don't want to go do this thing, but I have to. It's a pain in the ass. Michael Jackson's Thriller. I don't know if I could come up with 30 questions on Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's a very short film. I mean, like, I could probably come up with, like, 20 questions at most, and I'd probably fill it out with questions on the actual production of the song. Dominic Boo says, I practice by watching some ahead of time, and I don't mind being compared to Snorky. He's a great antagonist. Another thing as well is I'm planning to do a video on my top 5 favorite Treehouse of Horror stories. I am, yes, I'm gonna be doing it. I have it planned. I've been watching episodes already this month, but I've saved one day to just spend the entire day watching the rest of them because there's quite a lot to get through. So now and again I've been like picking some. Don suggests Frankenweenie. I already did the Tim Burton quiz last week, so yeah. Yeah, Computer Guy, the Tim Burton quiz was last week. Gene, Charlie Brown Halloween special. I don't know if I could come up with 30 questions on the Great Pumpkin. It's a very simple thing. Don't ask Wolfwalkers. Oh, maybe Wolfwalkers. It's kind of got an October vibe to it. It's a very autumny kind of film, but don't know. I want to do a cartoon saloon quiz at one point at least. Eventually, it'll get voted. But like I said earlier on, I think the highest contender for my favorite Treehouse of Horror story is probably going to be Nightmare Cafeteria, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe one of the newer episodes of Treehouse of Horror will surprise me. Maybe. Casper quiz. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I mean, I've only seen the first film and a couple of the old cartoons, but I think with a bit of research, I could maybe like find some other questions. Don Shrek Halloween special. Again, it's when it comes to these quizzes, you've got to remember there's 30 questions, so I have to come up with that many questions for like things that have a lot of information. There's a lot to work with. A lot of things happen. Either a lot of things happen in the film or show, or the show has a really big like sense of world building. So there's lots of info dumping going on. I just need a lot of inspiration when it comes to these quizzes. If I pick something just for the sake of picking it, then I'm just kind of stuck.